Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye, and today I'm doing an updated Shop My Stash. This is a series where I rotate through my makeup collection, pick out some stuff that I want to focus on for the past couple of weeks. However, I kept this rotation for a little bit longer than anticipated. I kept this for about 3 weeks. But we are here now. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I've been using, how I've been getting along with it, and then towards the end of the video, we're going to be picking out the stuff for this next rotation. As per usual, let's start off with base products. The first one being the Lip Bar Caffeine Concealer. I'm in the shade 1 Ivory, the lightest shade. This is a newer concealer to my collection, and even though I've been using this every time I've done my makeup the past rotation, I still don't really know my thoughts on it. I'm wearing it today all over my face, and it does look very pretty. I do like the finish, it's more matte. However, this concealer creases quite a lot on me, which is that's not very poggers, is it? I have started unironically saying poggers when I mean that something's good, and now it's not ironic anymore. It's my everyday language now. So while I do enjoy this concealer, it's nice, but it's not a favourite of mine since it does crease on me, but I still do enjoy it. I'll keep it around. Next up, we have my Kaleidos Charisma Contour Palette in the shade Warm and Medium, and we've got the pan. I've had this pan for quite a while, but I have expanded it quite a bit since I really wanted to see more progress on this, and I am so happy with this pan expansion. It's getting a little bit hard to dip my brush in there. I think I could go a little bit longer without repressing it, but this is a fantastic matte bronzer. I do like the highlight shade too, but I never use the contour shade. And while this was really fun to use in this rotation, I do want to reach for my other bronzer in my collection because I only own 2 bronzers. I like to switch them between each rotation usually. For my blush, I chose the CoverFX Warm Honey Blush Duo. It looks something like this. This is a beautiful blush. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It's very toasty and warm, but it still can work with cool toned looks like I'm wearing on my eyes today. I mainly picked this blush to complement the palettes that I chose, and this worked really beautifully. I love the lasting power. These CoverFX blush duos are beautiful. My friend Katie got me into these, and I blame her fully. These are fucking fantastic, and they look like soap, which always makes me hungry for some reason. I don't know why I want to eat soap. The highlight that I chose in this rotation is the Glossier Play Night Shine in the shade Pale Pearl. I am wearing it on my cheeks today, and I chose this one because I wanted to have a subtle highlight for work, because even though I'm wearing a mask all day, you can still see the tops of my cheekbones and my brow bone, so I did want to use this. I did build it up quite a bit today so you can see it a bit more, and this is a really lovely cream highlight. It does last very nicely, and it doesn't really rub off that easily either, so it does work very nicely under masks. It's very cute. It's the most subtle highlight in my collection, and I do keep it for that purpose because it does come in handy every once in a while, but I don't know, it's just not super exciting to me. I like a beaming highlight normally. Now we're moving on to the eye products. Let's start off with the boring ones. The eyeliners that I chose. Normally I don't pick out eyeliners for my Shop My Stashes because I like to use eyeliners that complement the eye look, but I thought that since the palettes that I chose today were mostly like warm neutrals, I thought I'd get a bit of use out of my orange and yellow eye pencils from Linda Hellberg. They're in the shades Happy Mood and Likeable Mood. I really enjoy these eye pencils. They're the mood crayons from Linda Hellberg. I like them, I have the whole set, and they do fill a void in my collection. However, I don't think I'd repurchase them. They're quite expensive, and when pencils like the LA Girl liners exist, which are £4, I don't feel the need to purchase expensive eyeliners anymore. But they are fun. I really like the yellow a lot, especially. I used it quite a lot. Alright, for the fun part, let's talk about palettes. The first palette that I chose, and I'm actually wearing one of the shades from this on my eyes today, is the Oden's Eyes Solmane palette. It looks something like this. I am actually wearing this shade all over my crease and lower lash line today. I'm only wearing 3 eyeshadows today, and I wanted to do something a bit more fun since a couple of the palettes that I chose were more neutral, so I thought I would do something a bit more colourful with this. The lid shade is not part of my Shop My Stash though, but I will talk about that later. I really enjoyed using this for work. For the most part, I used this mustard shade all over my crease, this on my inner corners, and one of the shimmers that I chose from my singles palette on my lids for work. I did use some of the shimmers in here. I use this shade a lot, especially because it's this kind of like lime green, gold, magicalness. It's so pretty. It's such a standout shade in this palette. This was really fun to use. I'm very glad that I got use out of it because I find that even though I can get away with colourful looks at work, I do like to use work as my excuse to use my neutral palettes. And the other neutral palette that I chose for work is my Kaleidos Sashimi City palette. Man, I love this palette. This is my favourite neutral palette in my collection. and she's a fucking beauty. The look that I did most often, I put one of these shades in the crease, this all over the lid, this in my inner corner, and one of these browns to deepen up, and it was the perfect, super easy, but really impactful look since these shades are so sparkly and duochromy. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't take pictures of my makeup looks that I did for work, but most of the time when I was doing my makeup for work, I was just doing it and getting out of the house, so I didn't really have time to take pictures. But probably my favorite look that I did with this palette for work, I used this really deep shade as a winged liner, smoked it out with the lighter brown, and I used this shade on the inner corners. I'll put that look right here. That looked fucking cool. That look looked fucking gorgeous. It was just a smoky winged liner with a pop in the inner corner, but it was so impactful. I got so many compliments from my co-workers and I really enjoyed that look. I think I really want to recreate that look with other palettes because it was really easy to do because I'm one of those people that can do winged liner in 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds. Now the palette that I had the most amount of fun with, and I've used this so much, the Glaminatrix You Beauty palette. This makes me happy. This is what the palette looks like. I have done a 3 looks 1 palette plus review with this one, but a lot of the time when I was doing makeup for work, I just used She'll Be Right, Stitch Up, and Chockers, and a bit of Flaming Galar on my inner corners. It made such a beautiful, cool-toned look that was still really cool. I even used Stitch Up as a winged liner, and it worked really nicely for that. And also because I was cheeky, I did sneak a bit of Gawd all over my lid for a work look, because this is such a beautiful multi-chrome. This is my such a unique multi-chrome. I don't have anything quite like it. I've had such a love affair with this palette. The mattes are so creamy and beautiful. The shimmers are gorgeous, the metallics, the duochromes. I won't harp on this palette for too long since I have done my 3 looks video with it, but this was such a pleasure to use. I'm gonna be really upset to put this away, but I do need to reach for some other things. Also, another thing that I'd like to note, that Stitch Up is my favorite matte brown shade to use for fake freckles. This tone of brown is so good. I just dip a skinny little brush in it, tap off the excess, and then just dot it all over my cheeks to create that faux freckle effect, because naturally when I get freckles, they usually pull like a warm brown colour, and obviously I don't dot them on as dark as this all over my face, I do sheer them out, but it's such a beautiful shade for fake freckles. The penultimate thing for eyeshadow was my singles palette that I curated for this round. I am missing one shadow right here, Bloodline from Cleona, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really use that shade at all in this rotation, so I thought I would just leave it out. But the other shades we have in here are XO2 from Brunlovich, Cake Bomb from Divina, which I have hit pan in this rotation, which I'm very happy about, Toxic Prism, Sonic Prism, Chrono Prism, and Flare Prism, all from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics, and this is Laser from Glam Shop. This palette curation really inspired me. I especially loved using Flare Prism all over my lid for looks for work. It looks so beautiful. It's such a beautiful sparkly gold. I don't know why, I just love this kind of tone of gold on my eyes, especially for neutral looks. They just look amazing. Chrono Prism is absolutely just drool worthy. I used this all over the lid in one look and it was just magnificent. I felt so cool in it. I used Sonic Prism in my Get Ready With Me recently as some graphic liner and it looks so cool. I really love Enchanted Luster's singles. They're incredibly underrated in my opinion. And also, like I've mentioned in my previous Shop My Stashes, I do have an unofficial like panning project where I want to hit pan in all of my Divina Sugar Drops shadows. So I'm just including one in each rotation, and I have hit pan on Cake Bomb right here. So that means I will be choosing another Divina Sugar Drops shadow to focus on. I love using these just for the inner corners and as face highlights especially. And also if a shadow needs to be a little bit more sparkly, I like to tap them on over top. They are such beautiful multi-purpose eyeshadows. I adore them. Also, another star of the show was Laser from Glam Shop. I did a look where I just put my bronzer in my crease and I put this all over my lid and one of these shades on my inner corners. It's a really weird picture, but it captures the shift fantastically. I got so many compliments at work when I wore this look, and some of my co-workers said, oh my gosh, how long do you take to do your makeup? It looks phenomenal. That look literally took me 3 minutes to do. From start to finish, 3 minutes. Less than that actually. I just loved it. It was such a beautiful one and done look. I've done that several times for work. I really enjoyed this singles rotation, very inspiring. I feel like I'm talking so fast. I'm like out of breath. I filmed a video just before this one, so I'm just like, come on, get things out. And finally, the lip options that I had for this rotation. The first one being the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. This is my second one of these. I love this lip gloss. A lot of the times I just wore this gloss with just any old eye look that I had on, and even though while I was at work, again, I was wearing masks, I wore this a ton in my like more fun looks. I don't really have much to say on this because it's just a fantastic gloss and such a beautiful like light neutral terracotta color. It's so stunning. And the other lip products I had in this rotation were the Oden's Eye Cream Lip Stains. I have mine in the shade Water Lily and Little Jasmine. I didn't really use Water Lily at all this rotation, unfortunately, but Little Jasmine, I'm wearing it on my lips today. Y'all know how much I absolutely fucking stan this lip gloss. I mean, why wouldn't I? It's so comfortable, super moisturizing. I feel like I am scraping the edges of this lip gloss. Every time I pull it out, there's not that much product on the tube, so I feel like I need to repurchase this soon because this is my baby. I can't be without this color. And yeah, with all of that said and done, let's move on into the picking stage of this Shop My Stash. I feel like I'm looking at my drawers right now. I'm not really too sure what I want to go for this rotation. Something more colorful, but definitely throw in a neutral palette because obviously. Anyways, let's move on into picking the stuff for this next rotation. Okay, we are at my drawers, so let's open drawer number 1. I still don't know how to really film these Shop My Stash videos, so I do apologize that the camera angle is always a little bit wonky. But for face primer, I'm not going to be picking one because I am just currently finishing my Milani Rose Hydrating Primer. I do have this one, which is unopened, the Milani SPF BFF one, but I want to finish the rose one first, so I'm just going to keep it in this drawer. Now, bronzer-wise, I really want to use my Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Barley Sands. I've hit pan on it in a recent Shop My Stash, and I want to expand the pan on this one a bit more. Now, for my blush, I really want to use this one. This is quite new to me. This is the Melt Digital Dust Blush Duo in Buzzkill, one of their little bee ones that they did. I've only used this blush once since getting it, so I really do want to focus on this one. I think I might grab another blush to focus on as well, and I think I'm going to be taking my Lethal blush palette, and I'm gonna mainly be focusing on this shade right here, Nectar. I'm not gonna take this shade out because I do like to keep these blushes all together, but I think I want to focus on all these blushes too. These are the tones that I'm reaching for, and I also want to do some more cool toned looks, and even though this blush is more warm toned, I really love using Nectar as like a companion piece to like purple and blue looks. And Nectar is my favorite blush in my collection, so I just want to use it. And I think that's all I'm going to be picking for this drawer right here. Now, in this drawer, I have my eyeliners and highlighters and loose pigments. I don't think I'm going to be picking anything from this drawer either. I never pick anything from this drawer. Why do I even open it? But I think highlight-wise, I do want to use this shade from Kaleidos. This is a Diamond Dasher. It's a beautiful, like, pinky gold type color, and I think this would work with a lot of looks that I have planned. But yeah, apart from that, I think I'm just gonna continue on. Now, this is my lip drawer. Now, I want to warn you, this is really messy. I've angled it so you can see everything a bit better, but as we can see, this is a mess. Like, what have I need to sit down and, like, properly organize this drawer again because it's just gotten out of hand. But for lip glosses, I'm going to be picking 3. First, I'm going to be picking my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb creams since, let me hold these. These are both very new to me. I only got these the other day, so I really want to use these, and these colors are just fucking dreamy. Another gloss that is brand new to me, I literally got this today from my beautiful friend Tyra. She got me a Pat McGrath gloss. What? I've never tried anything Pat McGrath before, and this is her lip gloss in Dare to Bear. And this is a very pale gloss, but I think I can make this work. It's such a pretty shade. I don't have a gloss quite like this in my collection, and I mean, come on, it's Pat McGrath. I gotta try it, and it's from my beautiful friend Tyra. Like, I treasure her. She's a fucking angel. This drawer right here is just the drawer where I keep all my Shop My Stash products, so we're just gonna leave it. The bottom drawer, though, is my eyeshadow palettes. Let me adjust this camera angle for you. Now, I was very stuck on what to pick for this rotation, so I actually consulted, I sound so fucking posh saying that, but I actually consulted my palette series version 2. So this is where I record how many times I have used a palette with tally marks, and as we can see, there's a bunch of tally marks all throughout. I've got all my palettes listed here. And when I was looking at this, I wanted to pick out some palettes that I've either barely used or not used at all this year, so I could focus on them. The first palette that I want to pick out is the Ace Beauté Flare palette. This palette is really diverse and fun, and I think this would pair really nicely with the blush that we picked, along with these two Fenty glosses. And also, when I mentioned in my eyeshadow palette collection video, I asked which palettes you wanted me to do a 3 looks 1 palette plus review video on, and a lot of you really wanted to see me do the Ace Beauté Flare, so that's going to be the next 3 looks 1 palette video with this one. Hopefully that will be going up sometime in May, not too sure, but I'm very excited to play with this. I really enjoy this palette, but I haven't used it all that much. Now the other palette I really want to pick, I want to pick a neutral palette for work, and I haven't really used my Oden's Eye Alva palette in a while, and this is a very beautiful, very light and airy, rosy neutral palette with a pop of yellow. I love the metallics in here. The mattes are not my favourite Oden's Eye mattes. I feel like they've changed the formula since this palette to a much better formula, because this matte formula is just not the greatest. But this is a perfect palette for work, so I'll definitely be reaching for this one. And the last palette that I'm going to be picking is something very fun. I really wanted to encompass both the neutral and also like bright grungy colours, and then I wanted something a bit more like proper bright. So this is the Lethal After Dark palette. I absolutely adore this palette, but I haven't used it in such a long time, so I thought now was the right time to use it because these colours really scream spring to me. And also, I always like to include a curated singles palette, so this is my little mini 6-pan that I've curated for this rotation. I wanted to focus on the blues and the purples mostly, and I thought that this singles palette would pair especially well with my Lethal palette because these mattes just work really nicely with these. And also this would work really well with my Oden's Eye palette. So in case you're curious on the shade names in here, we have Divina Soda Swamp from their Sugar Drops collection, Zero Gravity from Terra Moons, Good God from JD Glow, Unexpected from JD Glow, Watermark from JD Glow, and Abrasion from Cleona. These JD Glow shadows are brand new to me, also from my friend Tyra, because she repanned hers, and since there was enough product for 2 eyeshadow pans, she thought she'd send these over to me, which I really do appreciate it. I'm actually wearing Good God in the intro of this video, and this is beautiful. So I am very excited for this rotation, something really fun. So let me put all of the products back in this drawer, and we'll wrap up this video. And yeah, this is my Shop My Stash for this rotation. Some light airy tones, a bit of grunginess, just a bit of everything. I'm really inspired by this rotation. I'm just gonna do this outro sitting on my floor next to my makeup drawers, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know what's in your Shop My Stash. If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, then follow me on my Instagram. It's beautyybyskye right here. I post all of my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here, and as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!